What's going on, Lee?
And presents.
Do you have something you want to share, Harry?
Harry, do you have something you want to
I
share?
have bearing presents
He's bearing.
You're welcome,
in a Wawa trash bag.
Let's give a little context here. Harry is back.
Harry's been gone.
He's been gone.
If you
And
followed our socials, you saw him in San Francisco.
I killed Pim. I am Ant-Man now.
I stepped on Ant-Man by accident.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me.
I am Ant-Man now.
I am the Ant-Man now. No,
What
he
do
was in San Francisco.
What did you get at
What'd you
Wawa
get?
for us?
So I was chilling at Wawa before I went to California.
No, in California.
In California.
No, seriously, man, if you had a Sizzly in there, I would not be mad.
You got Sizzlers in there, bro?
Sizzly would be the
Dude,
best
you got a pork
All right.
roll Sizzly?
What do we got?
It's far away. I don't know how.
All right, Greg, why don't you, can you
All right,
be the
I'll swing.
liaison?
Yeah, I'll swing here.
Liaison.
All right. You both get, since
How
you're
am I-
liaisoning, you're picking one of
What in
these.
the world is this?
What do you think that is?
It looks like trash.
No, just put your. It's a.
You just called his gift to us trash.
First, he calls his shirt I got him trash and
That's not what I said.
ugly sweaters.
That's not what I said.
All right,
Don't
watch
put
the
words in my
montage video
mouth.
on the
Watch
social
the
medias.
150th
IKEA bag.
episode.
No, it's-
Look inside it, son.
It looks like either
There's two things in there. What are they?
Should I take them both out?
Yes.
They're rocks.
There's some sort of or fossils of some sort.
No,
I
they're,
cannot confirm nor deny that those
what is
are
it, Area
rocks
51?
from The Rock.
What?
Wait, what?
Not Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh.
Rocks from The Rock.
What?
Alcatraz!
Are you
Bro!
serious?
Yeah.
Did you meet Nick Cage?
Yo!
Yes, I killed him too. I killed Frank Pym and there's wait, what's his
Yo!
name?
How did you escape?
Also, there's
How
two
did you
comics
escape?
Yo!
This man, Harry, this is so kind.
Thanks,
Thank
Harry.
you so
Yo.
much.
Yeah.
I love that there's a caution at the bottom that says graphic depiction of a violent Alcatraz
Those are true stories, by
escape
the way.
attempt. That's awesome.
Yeah, the back.
Look at
the
those.
back of it has.
Look at those.
Has the dude.
They have a
Has
bunch
the
of them
actual-
there, but they were
Awesome,
like
man.
kind of pricey. So not kind of pricey. They were like nothing crazy, but I'm like
I
if I
got you.
bought each
I
one,
got
I was
you.
just like, that's not too much money.
The funny thing is that you said The Rock first, and my response was
I thought
immediately,
Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne The Rock.
Yeah, I know.
he robbed
He-
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No, I was. Just,
I
Like
would
it's
want
on,
you
like,
guys to
his
think.
driveway
I
or
would.
something.
Yeah, I would only put those in Wawa bags to give you.
I just assumed that like the Rock had pooped these out,
These are my pibbles.
and then
Focus.
Harry, thank
Thanks,
you so
yeah,
much.
absolutely, guys.
Thank you.
we
Okay.
missed you, man, while you were away.
Well, we always.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're glad you're back. We're glad you're safe.
Thanks.
Boy.
Yeah, left
Yeah.
the West Coast, back to the East Coast. We love it.
Beast
The Beast
Coast.
Coast.
The Beast Coast,
Beast
right?
Coast.
Yeah,
This is the
welcome
place to be.
back.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right,
Go
thanks.
ahead.
Man. Well, yeah. Well, welcome to the Legion of Comic Correction, where we talk all things Black Panther. Oh man, you heard it right, guys. We are talking about Wakanda Forever, so we are spoiler territory all over the place. But if you are new, make sure that you like and subscribe. Hit that bell so that you know when all the latest episodes come out. And if you want to help us out and support the channel, go down the links below. Click them all over the place. There's places like our legionofcc.com where you can get sweet merch like this. And he's got one on under there.
got the
Fresh.
And that one over there.
Fresh.
And our Patreon, where we get extra content. We'd
This-
love if you help us support.
This is legit, dude.
Yo,
You
Rage
did
and
a
Reason.
real good job with this, man.
You make yourself look
Old
creepy.
school. Me?
Yeah.
Have you
Well-
seen? So I fashioned after the old timey Two-Face from like the old Batman
yeah.
comics.
Oh, that's not what I thought you fashioned this. Out.
Oh,
What, Jekyll and Hyde?
no. He's thinking about the Spider-Man
no,
half face, half face.
no.
What are you thinking then?
You look exactly
Like me?
The
like
Joker?
No. Let me finish.
Oh, that's creepy.
The long Halloween holiday.
Holiday.
Oh, like holiday.
Hey,
Bro,
like
this
holiday.
is holiday,
Yeah,
bro.
because he has the
This-
round glasses.
Yes, man.
I got you. No, I was more going. So I was going
That's
for
it?
the
Just round
old.
glasses?
I was
No.
going
No. But the
smile.
in my propensity for serial killer thoughts.
the
Well-
just the style of it. If you actually watch
Yeah, the animated version.
the animated version
you're
of
right.
the Long Halloween,
You're not wrong.
the style of
I didn't even know
this
there was an
is,
animated
like,
version of the
straight-
Halloween.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty
dude.
good.
It's really
pretty
good.
good. It's pretty faithful to
Mhm.
the comic. But
Yeah,
you're right.
Definitely watch it. Worth a watch. Worth a Google.
I was
Probably on
channeling.
HBO, right?
Probably.
All DC
maybe.
stuff's usually
DC stuff is on there.
I
Yeah.
don't know. They pull a lot of it though.
Yeah, sure.
Fair.
I was channeling the old like 60s, 70s Two-Face
Yeah.
and the old like 60s, 70s Peter Parker.
Well, it's legit.
Boom,
The
Raging Reason.
Sticker's great too.
Yeah, same design.
Yeah.
All right, so go support if you want to support. But we are going to jump into a comic review today. We have a classic comic review,
Straight up.
and we are talking about the one and only Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Just came out a few weeks ago, and we're going to talk about what we thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to jump right into we have our Carnage report, we have our comic review, and then we have our verdict of the movie. So let's start out with that Carnage report.
Violence.
Did you say violence?
Violence. Violence.
I'm pretty sure you said violence.
I thought you said
But I mean 50-50.
violins.
I'm 60-40. 60-40, it's violence or violence.
Mr. Krabs.
Yeah. The
This
world's
one-
smallest violin.
This movie, this Carnage report probably deserves violins over
just for-
violence.
That's true. It was, man, this was a heavy movie.
This is.
There's some heavy stuff in the MCU,
There
but this
was.
was
This is the.
I thought
Yeah,
Sarah
freaking
McLachlan
heavy.
was going to come out.
She might as well have at
Yeah.
this point. My
Yeah.
gosh.
Tugging on the old heartstrings.
Yeah.
I had
There were
severe allergies.
some
throughout
onions
the
getting
movie.
cut at the end
Yeah,
of the.
there was also Smokey in there.
Real smoky.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Well,
It's weird.
We saw it. If you didn't see it, go see it.
You
It's
need to see
great.
it. Need to see it.
And we want to hear what you guys think about it too, because remember, we like it when you guys talk back to us in the comments down below. So drop it in the comments.
Start
if you have
talking.
some opinions down there. We
Some
love when people
interaction.
Fight me in the comments.
That's
Yeah,
right.
go
Keyboard
down there.
kings.
We talk back too, so we'll respond to you guys. So go down there. All right. So in the Carnage report, we talk about what the movie made. We talk about who's in the movie, and we talk about where its source material came from. So this is a little bit different. Again, since the new release, it's still out in theaters. It's only been out for a weekend and a half. Actually, no,
Crushes it
a
anyways.
weekend and like a few days.
I've looked at
when
these
we filmed
numbers.
this.
It is freaking insane.
It's nuts. So it already
insane.
it clinched the highest grossing opening film in November ever. So it already hit that title, which is pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Right now, it is sitting pretty at 220,692 domestic.
Yeah. That's just domestic.
Just domestic, and 407,892 global right now.
Insane.
That's
In
as
the
of
membrane.
this is Friday, just getting into its second. This isn't with the Friday numbers either. This is just getting into its second weekend. So that's wild.
That's
That's pretty good.
It's-
what I'm talking about when I'm talking about
Yeah.
an opening.
Yeah, this is-
They've already
shoot.
doubled what I would have to guess. I'm gonna assume
no,
they've already doubled what they put into this.
listen, the opening, to give you a little perspective, the opening weekend of this movie made almost as much as the entire run so far of Black Adam.
Right.
boy.
That was I mean
Just the opening weekend. Like and Black Adam, I mean,
and
that's
Black
The
Adam
Rock.
did well.
And they
Black
did
Adam
well.
did well.
And they've got like
And-
The Rock's name pulling people. Like,
right.
it just shows, again, we've talked about this, the foundation that Marvel movies have set.
Of
Yep.
course.
And
Of course.
the legacy that Ryan Coogler and Chadwick Boseman created in that first Black Panther movie, and people
That's-
wanting to come and kind of get that closure.
That's a quick point that I want to make on this. I
Yeah.
don't know if there is a movie, and I was thinking about this afterwards after we saw it last night. I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a movie that had more writing on it than this movie. I'm trying to think about
maybe Endgame, like having to follow
Yeah.
up Infinity War.
yeah, okay, but I
maybe.
mean to
That's
say,
true, yeah.
But
to say emotionally, like,
Yeah.
and like from we talked about this a little bit, like from a responsibility perspective of
Right,
doing
right.
right by
doing justice to it.
well, just not even just doing justice to it, but like doing right by Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
like
Right.
That's what I
I
mean,
don't
to
think
his
there's
legacy.
any
Kinda honoring him.
movie that has
Yeah.
had that amount riding on it to do right.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, Endgame had the responsibility of like doing right by. This is 10 years of culmination,
Sure.
but we're
Right.
talking about the loss of Chadwick Boseman,
Yeah.
what he meant to the universe, what he meant as an actor,
Yeah.
who he
right.
was as a human being, and to have that responsibility. I personally think we'll talk about it more, but I think
Yeah.
they stepped up to the plate and knocked it out.
Yeah. Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Nakia
Yeah.
in the movie, I believe it was her that was saying in interviews, and it was probably Letitia Wright as well. I can't remember if they both said it but regardless, they were talking about how like the filming of it was like almost like counseling for them, like grief counseling for them. Like they went through it, and it was a process to help
it was
them
a
mourn.
cathartic experience for many of them, like in the relationship that they had with Chadwick. And,
right. And just the impact he had on the cast.
Yeah.
And then like going in and doing this movie and bringing this kind of closure to the character and this honoring of his legacy.
Yeah.
It was very helpful for them in the grieving process. So it's like,
and
it's more than just a movie, man.
But they honored him so well, even from just the opening credits. I mean, that
Oh my word.
The Marvel opening credit.
With not a sound.
Well, with not a sound, but also
him.
just his images.
Oh my word.
Was brilliant.
I almost cried right there.
Yeah, I mean, that was right
crazy.
off the bat. You're pulling on my heartstrings right away.
All right. Yeah. We're getting into the review a bit.
Sorry.
So I know it's tough, especially when we like the movies. It's always tough
but
to
it's
hold
also
back.
with something this impactful. It's hard to not.
For sure. All right. So people involved in the movie. Ryan Coogler returns to direct and write. So awesome to have him back. He had always had the idea of Namor being the antagonist in the movie, even before Chadwick's passing. But just kudos to him to take the story and shift it and mold it and grow it into something that, again, honors Chadwick, even though he wasn't in the movie. But still
having to make a change faster than they had initially planned.
100%. Yeah. Right. Having the mantle move. Because I think, honestly, and again, spoilers, honestly, I think Shuri was always the choice because she is in the comics.
Yeah.
And so I think it was always kind of going to be the way it goes. But I definitely don't think they thought it would be the second movie.
Not the second movie. That wasn't. Nobody had anticipated that.
Nobody wanted that to be that case. All right. So Ryan Coogler comes back as director. We have Letitia Wright returning as Shuri. Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia. We have Danae Gurira as Okoye. Winston Duke returning as M'Baku. Angela Bassett. Oh man, she's freaking incredible.
The Queen,
as Queen Ramonda. So
Let's
good.
Just be real.
The Queen.
Yeah,
the Queen.
Martin Freeman coming back as Everett
she
Ross.
was Queen then. She was Queen Mother and then became Queen.
And then she's Queen. And then we get some newcomers too in here. So we get Dominique Thorne coming in as Riri Williams, otherwise known as Ironheart to comic fans.
Yep.
So she was introduced. She's got a Disney Plus show coming up. Super excited for that. This is kind of her introduction into the world of the MCU. And then we have, and this guy's name, Namor's name in like real life is almost as terrifying as his name, Namor. His name's Tenoch Huerta.
This man is
powerhouse.
One of the scariest human beings I've ever seen in my entire life.
I looked back at like his like filmography, and most of it was like not the mainstream Hollywood movies. It was like Mexican films and Spanish films, and like it was or like small time TV bits. He had a little bit on Narcos, which we have Michael Pena is also a Narcos guy who's in the MCU. But like he really didn't do anything big, and now he comes in here.
Oh my
and
God.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal was, but he's not in the MCU.
He's Disney.
He's Disney, that's true.
Yeah,
Mandalorian and what's his name from Wonder Woman 1984, which you don't like? What was his name? I don't remember. Remember his name?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
He was the dude that wished for things. Anyway,
the Wisher.
Tenoch Huerta comes in as Namor, and
it's not the character's name, but
it's definitely what it is.
The Wisher.
The Wisher.
The Wisher. Man, he rocked every scene.
No, that's Henry Cavill.
That's Henry. Not anymore.
Yeah,
that was freaking
Namor.
What's his name?
Namor was
Helmsworth.
I mean, I can't even say that. I was about to say like Namor like stole the show, but I can't even say that.
No, everybody stole the show.
Everybody in their scenes stood out in some way or another. It was insane the level of just sheer acting chops that we saw throughout this whole film.
Yeah, man. It was nuts.
I'd say like each character had like a lot of gravity towards
each
of the parts.
Oh yeah.
And they each got to kind of fill out that scene.
Right.
And really be able to breathe well. We also have two kind of bit parts that came in, but they're also important. Michael B. Jordan returns as Killmonger to meet with Shuri during her
talk about a guy stealing a scene.
Dude, I
was like,
a man is,
and you think it's going to be
nuts.
Queen Ramonda, and it's him, and he was freaking great again, even though he was only in it for a little bit. And then we have Julia Louis-Dreyfus coming back as Val.
She's one that I will say I was kind of like,
Well, you know what? I think it's important, and I was reading up on like just the interesting aspects of her character, because if we look at all the different places that she's appeared in the MCU, she's been different. Like even just how she acts in every
That's a good
iteration.
point. That's a good point.
But people are like, well, she is, besides Nick Fury in the comics, Madam Hydra is like the master spy, and she literally is who she needs to be to get what
In
she
each
wants.
moment. Yeah.
Right. So she's like the believer of John Walker in order to make him take the U.S. agent mantle. She's, the supplier for the new Black Widow, in order for her to go and go after Hawkeye. She's
She's whatever you need her to be.
Right, exactly. And she's like the kind of the pushy ex-wife with Ross, but she uses that to kind of get close to him and figure out what he's doing with Wakanda.
Master manipulator.
Yeah, so she's great. I'm excited to see them continue to build her. She's probably going to be in Secret Invasion, the show, because Ross is in that with Samuel L. Jackson.
Sure.
So it's going to be cool to see her kind of get built into that Thunderbolts, world. So it was cool to see her, and I think it was good. There wasn't a lot
bad. I just didn't think she had the.
Well, there wasn't a lot of points to other pieces of the MCU in this movie, but there were little bits here and there that kind of let us see things coming up. But most of it was self-contained, and we've talked about this a lot in Phase 4. Phase 4 seems like the movies are self-contained.
Yeah,
that's what they seem like they are.
A lot of pieces are.
Yeah, but Phase 5.
I think they needed.
Breathing.
I have a lot of problems with other ones being self-contained. This one needed to be self-contained, though. Like, I don't have any issue with this one being more self-contained.
Agreed.
Other ones, problems, but this one had to be.
And you know what though?
Just what it was.
And it wasn't, even though it was self-contained, because it was like the end of Chadwick Boseman's kind of like time as the Black Panther, the honoring of his legacy. But it was also the beginning of Shuri, and the introduction of one of Marvel's oldest, most powerful mutants in Namor. So it's it's putting a lot of stuff. Well, we know Fantastic Four movie's coming up. Namor's coming back, man. We know he's coming back
one way or another.
Yeah, so it's like it also kind of gave us hopes for the future, along with being self-contained. So it was something.
What about source material on this?
Source material, yeah. So source material is interesting.
I'm like chomping at the bit on it.
Oh, do you want to say some stuff?
Well, go ahead.
Ooh, look at this guy.
Yeah.
So source material, very interesting. There obviously is source material down to Shuri taking over the mantle of the Black Panther. Mm-hmm. There's also source material for the Midnight Angels coming alongside the Black Panther, helping in covert missions. Mm-hmm. We see Okoye and a few other Dora Milaje become Midnight Angels. They're not Dora Milaje anymore, but they are helping the Black Panther kind of do what needs to get done. Though in the comics, it was usually T'Challa that they helped out, but we see them kind of get integrated there. We also see Namor being introduced and changed quite a bit. There is funny, in the original Namor origin, the thing that brought the mother and father together. So in the comics, Namor's mother is from Atlantis. His father is human. Mm-hmm. They have a child. The way they meet each other is actually the father is searching for vibranium in the Atlantic, and finds the mother. They fall in love. They have a child together. They end up being separated, and Namor is born in Atlantis, in the Atlantic. So they changed it by giving it some Mayan roots or some Aztec roots.
Yep.
And
Mayan.
the same thing, right? Or is it Mayan?
No,
they're two different. Is it Mayan or Aztec? It's Mayan.
Mayan.
It's Mayan, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're probably wrong, but we're trying to be right.
Fairly.
It's got to be Mayan, right?
Like 90%.
90%.
Yeah.
Look at that real quick. Make sure we're
Go
right.
ahead. Hit us with
We want to make sure we're right.
Hit us with some knowledge over there, Harry.
But yes, they change it. Change the kind of the background to it. They wanted to distance themselves from the depictions of Atlantis in other movies, in particular Aquaman. So they kind of made it their own. They also gave Namor his abilities through vibranium or vibranium herb, which is, again, not in the comics. But he is still a mutation and a mutant. It is mine.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yep.
So he is still a mutant, and he still has a mutation. He still has the same powers, except for they didn't really show him talking to sea creatures. He does have electrical powers in the comics. He can like shoot electricity like an electrical eel. They didn't show those things, but who knows? Maybe they'll come up. He just used his vibranium spear a lot. What'd you want to say? You're chomping, man.
This is one of the least comic accurate movies.
Other than the characters, it's just its own story pretty much.
Of all Marvel movies.
Yep.
I'm sorry to say that.
100%.
do I love the movie? I'm going to just come outright and say I thought it was a phenomenal movie. I love the movie.
Yeah.
But if we're talking comic accuracy, outside of Namor having wings on his ankles, like we are really far off.
Well, and the Shuri taking the mantle.
I agree. I'm making an over-exaggeration here. I'm big surprised Logan's making an over-exaggeration.
You're
like,
actually
that's
not,
crazy.
My point is...
You're not that exaggerated, though.
Like, we are so far from comics at this point in Marvel Universe. Like, we don't even consider them as like source material anymore. Like I think you're right. I don't know how much. I honestly feel like at this point Marvel, there was a point in time Marvel had comic experts on payroll. I just think they fired them at this point. Well, like
they're almost making it seem like they are gonna get like copyright infringement if they use actual source material. That's how they're using it.
Well, I wonder.
Here's something I'm happy about. Here's what I will say.
Yeah.
Namor is physically.
Right,
he's very comic accurate.
Yeah, even down to his little green booty shorts.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, his fighting style, is surprising. The zoom flies and everything.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
For them to give him ankle wings
is so cool.
Is awesome. Love it from the comics. I'm just surprised they actually put that into depiction. Like,
I'm more surprised they made it cool.
Yeah, they did make it cool. Like you're 100% right.
They
made
some
it
pretty
awesome.
corny stuff in Love and Thunder, and it didn't work.
Yeah, but
they made this work.
Outside of that,
yeah, for sure.
We have just like see and never comics. Like
it's pretty much like character design.
Yeah. In the comics, he almost looks like kind of like Greek.
He is.
You know what he looks like is honestly even with the ears, Spock.
He does.
He looks like Spock.
Yeah.
He's supposed. So in the comics, Atlantis is located like in European myth,
right? Yeah.
Which is where standard Atlantis mythology kind of comes from. Yeah. I like the choice though to make it different.
I don't have a problem with the choice. I think they did an excellent job. But if we're really comic direction,
100%. Yeah.
We're not on it. We are. They have just and we've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah, they're moving away.
They have moved away from the comics.
Well, you know why though?
They moved the furthest here from the comics out of any of them.
Maybe Love and Thunder was more. I think
you're probably right. Love and Thunder.
I think Love and Thunder was more.
Love and Thunder. I don't even know if
that was a wild card that just did not play out.
Yeah. I just don't even think they
should have folded that wild card.
I would rather watch Iron Man 3.
100%.
Because it had,
I'm saying that.
Yeah,
that's hard for me to say.
Look at
because it had RDJ in it. That's why.
I know.
Well, but the thing is, I'm a big Chris Hemsworth fan. But it just didn't work. None of it worked. Anyway, let's get back to
Black Panther.
But you know why?
Why
are they moving away? Why are they moving away?
Because they want nothing to do with an association with Aquaman.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yes. Why they changed.
Yes, you are right.
Why
they
they
changed.
They don't want anything to do with or anything to be compared to. Because everyone always compares DC to Marvel.
Yeah.
Thus, Black Adam to what am I thinking? Captain Marvel or whoever else. Or like,
you could say Captain Marvel.
Right, anyone.
You could say Doctor Strange.
Strange.
It's magic.
Right, because
same with like Dr. Fate and all those.
Ant-Man and the Atom Smasher.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're just going to be like, I think that's why they did it.
Well, and
I don't know, man. I agree. I think you're right, but I just this is so far gone on it.
Yeah,
and we can talk. I don't want to belabor this point. I want to be able to move on and talk about the movie, but it has to be said that there's like no comic grounding in this.
Let's let that kind of start our review then. So let's jump into our comic review. So,
in looking at any research,
right,
was there any grounding that you can say, like we've talked about movies plenty, where we say
specific
this is the run, this is the comic, this is what it's based on.
Right.
I in my own expertise, nothing.
So
besides that, his name's Namor
by
some people, some people, but he's not even like his people don't even call him that.
Kukul Khan.
Kukul Khan, yeah.
But
the
top of that,
sick.
The one thing that I can say, which you already pointed out, he's a mutant.
Yeah,
right. Which is we are firmly rooted
Let's
in
go.
having mutants
Let's
in
go.
the MCU.
Let's go.
So, like,
mutants.
ready to go.
Charles
Let's
Xavier.
go. X-Men, come on in.
Wolverine.
But I'm just saying, like, that is, we can get
The
excited
Dazzler.
about that. We can get excited about that, but, like,
Toad.
that's it. Not Toad. Are you Quill? Are you about to drop Quill over here?
Quill.
Nobody
Gambit.
wants to see Quill. Nobody wants to see Quill.
I'd rather see Gambit than Quill. Iceman.
Yeah, Gambit would be much better than Quill.
Yeah.
Anything is better than Quill
Let's
except
get Channing
except
Tatum
Angel,
as Gambit.
that
Come on.
stupid bird.
And Iceman.
What about Sabretooth?
Sabretooth's sick,
Sabretooth
man.
is
not.
I
can
like
be.
Sabretooth.
No,
He's not. They're just like, wait, who can we make that's just like
in
Wolverine,
the
but not as good?
In the comics,
Sabretooth
he's
in the
very
movies
cool.
is terrible. Sabretooth
Comics,
in the
he's great.
comics, he's
He's
great.
not that. No.
You get
Move
Sabretooth.
on.
Great is not.
You get
That's
Sabretooth.
overstatement.
This is a
and you know it.
conversation. This is a
Sabretooth
conversation
and
for
Wild
another
Child.
day. Conversation for another day.
All right,
back on
so-
back. Black Panther.
So,
My man.
so yes, I would say this movie very much falls into the
Very much.
here is what the comics have done.
And we're just
Let's take that. Well, no, let's take
Throw
that
right out the
framework and let's build a new story on that framework. So what I mean by that is,
I disagree.
well, here, listen. Let me say through, and then you can tell me why.
wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so wrong. So they took the Namor character, who's a mutant,
Yeah.
who is trying to, in the comics, he has the same motivation, drive, and that he's trying to
Aspirations.
he tries to keep his people just away themselves, but then as the surface world becomes more and more problematic, he wants to wage war on the surface world. So it's like they took that framework of Namor and they were like, let's use that framework to build his motivation. So it's not a specific comic run, but it's a specific comic trait of Namor. That's Namor's always his goal. So they took that. Then they said, let's take Shuri after T'Challa's death. She becomes Black Panther and she takes over. Let's take that and allow that to happen. And we'll build the story based on, they took Chadwick's death and used that to kind of build her character arc to that end result. And then it's like, like little things like the Midnight Angels with the Dora Milaje being a Secret Service, organization and that stuff. So it's like they took frameworks that exist in the comics and they built their own story using those frameworks to push their own narrative. So what I'm saying is it's not comic accurate in that it's not taking an exact story, but it's taking a character, their motivations, and plugging it into their own narrative.
Yes. The thing I think that I disagree with was
Sure, yeah.
framework I feel is too strong of a word.
I would agree with all the things except for Namor. I think Namor's framework is pretty solid.
Other
than him being Mayan instead of European.
I don't think there's enough of a framework there. I
maybe
wouldn't
not.
call it a framework.
Okay.
I would say like
Character
just his character
sketch.
Yeah, his character outline.
This is an embodiment.
His character outline. That's all it is. Like who he is as a character. And
Right.
Web diagram.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even. We're talking.
for sure.
We're talking about.
We're talking. It's a brainstorm.
Right.
So,
it's a blueprint.
So do you think
that's even too generous?
Do you think?
It is. You know how when you do
a line diagram.
Yeah.
You know how when you
a line plot.
Yeah. When you do writing, when you get taught writing in school,
you just do bullet points.
You do those like there's like okay, what's
Keyword
your main
outlines.
idea?
Yeah.
And then draw those circles and have those.
Yeah, a web
connections.
diagram.
Web diagram.
yeah.
Total. That's it. It was a web diagram, and then that's all they took from the comics was a web diagram and built a whole movie around that.
Honest question.
Yeah.
Do you think this in particular? Because I know we've seen a trend where it's, at least in the movies, where it's gotten more and more that way.
Yeah.
Do you think this one was kind of exacerbated because of the desire to write it around the death of Chadwick Boseman?
Yes. And so that's why I don't have...
You know what I mean?
I don't have as much of an issue with this one as with other ones. But the problem
it was more of a tribute to Chadwick and not trying to be necessarily comic accurate.
The problem here...
Yeah.
Is that Marvel has kicked themselves with this
Sure.
because they have made this the norm rather than this being the exception. Okay?
Right.
If this was the exception where we are seeing all Marvel movies utilizing comic accuracy.
Right.
And this one had to be changed because of Chadwick Boseman's death, which we're well aware of. You need to make a pivot. And they made a good pivot.
Yeah.
But the problem is every movie is like this.
Well, in this phase,
So wait, can I say that I think the most comic accurate movie of this phase
don't say it
is The Eternals?
Probably.
Because The Eternals is very consistent on the Celestials, building them and putting them on Earth to nurture the Celestial body.
Yeah, and that's really...
And it was the worst one.
Devastating to say.
Yeah.
So here's my point.
That stinks.
My point around this
Still good movies.
If this movie had to do that out of function...
Sure. This was out of love for Chadwick.
If it wasn't the norm.
Right. If this was the anomaly.
Because it's the norm, it's like, it just makes it really difficult it makes it a really difficult pill to swallow that this is just the pattern that they're going to have.
Well,
and again, I love the movie. I think they did a phenomenal job with it. I think it is an excellent movie.
Right.
But it's not a comic accurate movie.
But outside of comic critics, not even just basic critics, because we all know that critics
we can't
actually
even trust
don't
that
even,
at all.
They're not even comic fans. So that's why we have to bear this burden on ourselves. But outside of comic critics, no one cares / no one really knows.
Sure. So is it a good movie or is it not?
So that's what we have to talk about. That's I think what we talk about is was this a good movie?
Was it a good movie or was it not? And was it and we can still say, was it true to the core comic characters? Right. Because it can still be true to the core of the comic character.
It was until Namor.
Well, no, but other than Namor, where like his ethnicity or like his origin of people, like as the actual person of Namor, he was very true to him. Because he was a hundreds of year old mutant who is always protecting his people from the surface dwellers, thinks they're evil, and he's going out and wants to burn the world. Like
and his history, but then his history's changed,
right? But then they I think they made his history more rich in this case.
I agree.
But his core, like it's still the core drive of his character doesn't change. It's
I agree.
Still the same core drive.
I agree.
He's still dealing with the surface world for his own ambitions and protection of his people.
Yeah. And so I want to be able to move on from this point.
Sure,
I don't want to belabor it anymore, but I just think it's important for us to address that fact because if we are the Legion of Comic Correction, we need to
look at source material.
We have to look at source material, which is why I was like, I'm chomping at the bit on that because it's actually one of the least comic accurate movies, and that's okay for what it needed to be.
So Harry and I were talking a bit about Phase 4 on the ride up here, and just like its direction, where it's been going. And
Black Oath one,
right? Sure. Well, the fact that each movie was pretty much just a standalone. Yeah. It was its own movie, and we were actually talking. Shout out to Harry's buddy TJ. I was talking with him about just the overall feel of Phase 4, and it was one of two things. It was either introducing a new character within a standalone movie, or closing out the chapter of a character from the old phases within a standalone movie. And that fits within the framework that we were talking about. Phase 4 is kind of like just a time filler while they build the next like actual cohesive story.
Sure. We've talked about that before,
Right. And what really excited me when we went to go see this movie was the trailer for Ant-Man, because Ant-Man really, the trailer anyway, really feels like a movie that's going in the direction of a greater story. Mm-hmm. And so we see like the introduction of Chronopolis.
It's a greater story, just a bigger story.
Right.
Bigger,
Chronopolis and Kang and traveling through time and dimensions and the quantum realm, and the idea that we know Kang is the big bad. Well, but
quantum time, was outside of time.
Right, but we're pretty sure that Kang is going to be the time traveling Kang, that ends up ruling
yeah,
ancient Egypt.
But I'm saying
his
the quantum
is,
realm is outside of time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, but like the feel of that trailer, I feel like when we looked back, and this is what you and I were talking about, Harry, like the only trailer we can really think about of Phase 4 movies that we were like, oh, this is probably going to talk into more stuff was Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
Everything else just kind of, the trailers didn't really give us a feeling of this is a greater, bigger story.
Right.
Just felt like, oh, this is kind of cool. I wonder
this is either a character development or a character closure.
Right. And so, but this trailer,
to be honest, I don't think many did any. Many did any. Many did character development. I don't think besides Black Panther, Wakanda Forever really did.
Well, I would say Shang-Chi's pretty good. Like for setting up.
That was an introduction
Shang-Chi.
of a new character.
Well, that's what he's saying, character development, like creating a character. So, like, I think Shang-Chi did a good job of creating a character.
Shang-Chi is the only.
That's literally maybe the only one.
100%.
Besides,
besides Black Panther, right? 100%. Because like we were talking about Multiverse of Madness, introduced America Chavez, but really didn't give us a whole lot. We know she's going to be more because she's going to be like probably the way.
And Doctor Strange didn't develop any more than he already is. Besides, he has a third eye.
He has a third eye,
but that doesn't.
Yeah, there was a little bit of stuff there, but regardless, Phase 4 felt very irregardlessly. Phase 4 felt very just standalone, and like either they're closing people out or they're bringing in new people.
Which this did both.
Right. Yes, which is kind of cool. It's the last one.
Yeah, and so
I did both.
Besides its impact on the overarching Phase 4, what were you most impressed by?
Right, with this movie?
In this movie.
Man, what wasn't I most impressed
by?
No
Snapchat filters of Chadwick Boseman.
Thank God.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, that was...
If they did that, I was just going to walk out of the theater.
To honor him well was we didn't try...
We don't need him in the movie. We know who he is.
CGI impose his face onto anything. Yeah.
Right.
And I liked the...
No archival voice.
Yeah.
Like Mark Hamill's voice.
I mean, I wouldn't have minded if they put his voice in it, like...
Oh, no.
Him talking to, like, Cherie.
I meant taking, like...
like sound bites.
Recreate it.
Regenerating his voice.
Put a new conversation.
Which, I mean, they can do really well nowadays, but...
I don't know. Mark Hamill sounded pretty bad in the...
so did his face on another person's body.
Everything was bad about that.
100%.
Yeah. So that's a good point.
Yeah, that was...
having that.
Not utilizing... the CGI face capture motion piece, like that was very smart. That was very important, I think.
Yeah.
What else were you most impressed by with this?
Can I say two things?
Sure.
Okay, good. Well,
I'm
not buy one, get one.
There's no rules here.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. That's what, like last time when you took the entire everything about the movie.
Today, I'm asking the question.
I know.
I'm giving you the
weird.
time.
This
is weird. I did feel uncomfortable when he asked me
I did too. He started the conversation. I'm like,
you're welcome.
I like this new Logan.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
This is
go
good.
ahead. Otherwise, I'm gonna start talking.
All right. So, two things I really liked about it. One, I really liked the depiction of Namor and Talokan, his city, and just like I liked the integration of vibranium into his city. It makes sense. Even Shuri's like a explanation of like the meteorite broke apart. There's mostly water on the planet. It makes sense that it would fall into the water.
Logic.
Like, and that's just. I loved the fact that they just went all in for his comic accurate look and how he acted. In fact, they said Imperious Rex in Ancient Mayan at the end. Like, he was just such a wonderful, wonderful addition, and I cannot wait to see more of him. So he was just really, really great.
What about his viciousness?
Oh my word! Yeah, his imposing, like when he threatens Angela Bassett that she's gonna just kill her if she like brings Wakandan ships near him, and he like doesn't even look at her. He just looks over her. And
he looks past her. He looks past her. That's it. He's just like.
And then the next scene, he drowns her. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, he was brutal, man. He was brutal, but then he would do things like when he said to Shuri, he's like, or you could wear a suit, like, and he'd be like charming and like super, like when he sat with her and was telling her about, telling her about the bracelet from his mother and like you want to like love him. Like, he's very charming. And then it's just like, and then he's so brutal. It's such a cool.
He just murders your mom.
Yeah, right. So
was that your first thing or second thing?
That was my first. My second thing was the soundtrack. Soundtrack was freaking on point. Like, whether it be the orchestral stuff that was just super moving, and the music during the funeral and the ceremony, and like or just the musical renditions, like just the
it was mostly all in a different language.
Yeah, a lot of it was. Yeah, a lot of it was. It was just super fun. Like that's one thing I loved about the first.
To weird stuff, man.
He's an artist.
No, that's
he's an artist.
That's something I loved about
give us a
Salvador Dali.
That's
Salvador Dali.
That's something I really loved about the first movie was the soundtrack. And then I think this one might have even been better. It was just I was freaking
now that's a statement
bopping out. Man.
I mean,
freaking good.
I mean, was I like moved by the music? No, but was I like annoyed by it? Like I can be with other soundtracks? Absolutely not.
I was freaking rocking out, man.
Didn't even notice it.
The music that they played when you first came into Talocan was just, man, freaking so good. I just loved it. I love the music. There are few movies that I will buy a soundtrack to, and I will probably buy this soundtrack.
Wow,
it was so good. I just really enjoyed
it. Statement there.
When you do that, re-listen to it and let me know what you think.
Oh, I totally will. I'm probably gonna work out to it tomorrow.
Wow,
maybe some of it. The stuff that's not the orchestral stuff, because there's quite a bit of like vocal, like with lyrics and everything. Super cool. Anyway. Those are the two things that really impressed me. I mean, so much of it impressed me, but those two things were freaking great.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
So I think it is the key monologues for specific characters.
Okay.
So I think there's at least 4 there. Well, as I go through it, there might be more, but there's at least 4 that stand out to me. The first one is Angela Bassett as the queen in front of the UN. So that she just steps in there and sets a tone.
She's terrifying, man.
It's not just her. It's the way she delivers her lines in that scene.
Yeah.
The way her facial expressions when she's not speaking. It's almost what she's saying when she's not speaking. Yeah. When they're accusing her of different things, and then she just turns the whole tables on them.
Yes.
Marches in the mercenaries.
Yep.
And then you have her bodyguards.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, they were the river border people because they had the
border tribe. Border tribe.
They had the black like metal mohawks.
Yeah. So the border tribe, and then the Dormelage.
Yeah.
So
Okoye, man. So
her
good.
Speaking in that moment of like, I know the whispers that are said.
Yeah.
And we are not a kingdom that is unprotected or not willing to defend ourselves.
Right. Just because we lost our defender doesn't mean we're defenseless.
So there's that one.
So good.
So that's one. The second one is Namor when he confronts them for the first time.
Yeah.
Beyond Wakanda's borders. When he confronts Shuri and and the Queen.
Oh.
Yeah.
The first time
when she takes her out for the ceremony and he comes out of the lake.
Yes.
Man.
That
was the first time you see Namor like really.
First time it's not just the first time you see Namor, but it's where he speaks. What he says about Wakanda is so important. Their land is sacred.
Right.
Their waters are clean.
Right.
They are untouched. Why would you reveal yourself?
Right.
In any way?
Right.
And then the impact that T'Challa making the decision to reveal themselves had on them.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are going to help him clean up their mess.
Right.
That whole scene was phenomenal.
Power play, man.
So powerful. I think that's your first. Yes, the scene where he looks past her and makes those threats is powerful, but I feel like that was more powerful because it just shows all of his motivation, his threats, everything, his power in one scene. Because in that scene, he also states, I have an army.
Yeah, I was just thinking that
larger than anything you can fathom.
He said I have more soldiers than you have blades of grass.
Right.
It's like holy crap.
Beyond intimidating.
There's terrifying.
So there's that one.
Yeah, for sure.
The next it's hard because it's not just one. It's actually the character arc of M'Baku throughout this whole movie.
Even
he becomes so spoilers if you haven't we're doing spoilers this whole time.
Right.
He becomes king of Wakanda.
Yes.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, man.
I don't think anyone will debate the way that he develops over the course of this film.
Yeah.
Right.
And
the
why
last
he's able
film.
to step
His
into
whole
this.
arc. Like
Yes,
from
but-
Black Panther 1 to now.
Even at the beginning of this movie, when he first walks into the throne room, he's still a little the old immature, like
he's got that
aggressive
personality.
M'Baku. He's
Yeah.
basically saying, like, he says in that first scene, like, had I been there,
right.
had
none of
we
this would
been
have
there,
happened.
had my tribe been there,
Right.
none of this would have happened. And then
he's like, you call
He
these
sees-
men? Like,
he sees,
Yeah.
and then when he actually has to confront Namor, hey,
Oh,
Fishman,
he runs right for
Oh,
it.
Fishman.
runs right for him.
Boom.
Owned.
Yep. 100%.
Owned.
Yeah.
Breaks his staff over him,
Yeah.
unflinching,
Shatters his chest
and his
piece.
chest is like concave. The fact
Yeah.
that he's alive is a
Right,
miracle.
In an interview, Winston Duke said that the reinforcement in his armor is complete vibranium. So he actually had like kind of hoarded a vibranium chest plate.
Yeah,
So that's why he survived that. But
makes sense. But I'm just saying,
still, it's like
But
he
his
crushed vibranium with his hand.
his interactions
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the elders later on and Suri later on,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Right.
Phenomenal.
he's like an older brother.
He's an older brother, but it also goes to show the way that he has developed in his wisdom, understanding.
Yeah.
You could say he matured.
Not just that
Yeah.
he matured, yes, that he matured, but it's not just that. He also thought about more than just his whole purpose was thinking about the Jabari,
Right.
That was
right,
it.
right.
protecting, caring for, and,
Right,
and,
his
and
mountain.
leading the Jabari. He steps up and cares for all of Wakanda. I don't know if you guys realized, first scene where we are laying to rest T'Challa,
Yeah.
the Jabari, none of the Jabari do the Wakanda Forever salute. None of them. I don't know if you saw that, but none of them do the salute.
Yeah.
He then later on commits himself to taking care of all of Wakanda
Yeah.
and then committing to the ritual to become king
Right. Coming to
and
the,
caring for
yeah,
all of
to the
Wakanda.
challenge.
Like, that is such a progression. Even at the funeral, he's not saluting, and over the course of the film, cares for and develops this love for all of Wakanda.
Yeah. Well,
That's phenomenal.
T'Challa saw it in him, right? Because
He saw it in him completely.
we
You
find out
see,
that T'Challa asked him to literally be the guardian of his sister.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he
mean,
was like,
that's
when
huge.
I'm gone, you
That's
need to
huge.
give her wisdom, you need to give her counsel, you need to be with her, protect her, and
And
he honored that.
Yeah. And so I
So
actually, M'Baku, I've always liked M'Baku, but
Yeah.
like he even more so in this film. But the last one is Suri, when she drops down for the first time into
Oh, the council.
the Jabari's council room,
Yeah.
and she is Black Panther for the first time.
Super cool.
But it's not just the recreation of Predator
Yeah, she took
arm
Killmonger.
wrestling.
Well, but she took
It's not
Killmonger's
just-
suit.
it's-
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers,
Yeah.
And
Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger
Schwarzenegger.
handshake.
They did.
It's not just that. It's actually her conversation with M'Baku.
Yeah, with M'Baku
after that.
Yeah.
Well,
it showed her heart.
It showed
It
showed
showed
her
what she
heart
was
in that
struggling.
moment. It
Right.
showed her
100%.
struggle.
Yeah.
But it also showed, like, it showed, and she had to address, my mother, my father, my brother, they are gone. Whatever
Right.
dreams existed for me through them are gone.
Yeah, it's rough.
Like, having to like weigh that.
Yeah, well, M'Baku.
And M'Baku is sitting there, like, feeling in that moment. I can only imagine, because he's already said he was given the responsibility by T'Challa to care for her, to give her
Right.
counsel. And I can only believe in that moment he feels like he's failed.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, but
And
he also understands where she's coming from to a degree,
100%.
because in the funeral scene for the mother, he says to her, you know, like
she's been
no
through
one
too
who's
much.
lost this much can be called a child anymore.
Right.
Like he's just he knows how much she's broken. But I think that's part of his wisdom too, in that like he realized she's gonna have to mess up.
Right.
Like she's gonna have to go through this and realize. In the end of it, either she's going to realize that vengeance has swallowed her,
but he's also,
or she's going to come back.
To the extent that he's willing to go through it with
100%.
her.
Yeah, he's willing to follow through with it for her to learn the lesson, for her to grow.
Those are the four.
Yeah.
Those are the four most powerful characters and moments for me.
So good
throughout that film that really define this film for me. Where it was like I'm sitting there, and I am like. They have those four characters in those moments have fully taken over the scene.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
They in that moment are sucking all of the air into themselves.
Yeah,
and I'm fully engrossed.
Oh yeah. Well, you're
feeling the emotional impact.
You're not super vocal in movies unless like you're making a comment that's like you're like
stupid.
Oh, that's whatever.
I make stupid comments throughout movies all the time. Yep.
So. You were really quiet during this movie.
I was very quiet.
When Angela Bassett is saving Riri Williams from the water, which is when she ends up drowning and dying, as she's going up, and you tell she's like fighting against her dress because it's like so much in the water, and she's trying to swim up. Logan's next to me going, "Come on."
Yeah, I was cheering her on.
Yeah.
I literally I remember saying that.
You're
I was
like, "Come on."
Come on. I'm like,
because you wanted her to make it out. Like, and that's how engrossing this movie is. Like, you just involuntarily are like feeling everything that they're feeling.
The amount of things this movie made me feel.
That's what I was going to say was
like,
that like Angela Bassett was like a whirlwind of emotion, but had a direction that was like pinpoint accurate. It's like
Bassett.
You're like, oh wow, she's really emotional, but each and every time she was emotional, it had a purpose, and it drove that purpose into every single piece that she wanted it to drive into.
To that point,
to
that exact point. The other moment is another Angela Bassett moment when she is
have I not given everything?
Have I not given everything?
Right.
Have I not given everything?
Right.
I am the queen of the most powerful nation in the world.
Right.
And I have lost my husband, my son, and now my daughter.
Yeah.
I am alone.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That statement. Can you imagine?
Right. Yeah. Family. Family's everything.
But another thing
that she really needed, was Vin Diesel in that moment. That's what she needed.
So everybody needs.
Let's be honest.
I mean, whenever I'm having a bad day, I wish she was
family. See, what you don't understand, we don't have friends.
You don't have friends.
We have family.
What were you gonna say, Harry? What was the other thing you were thinking of?
The other thing that I thought was really interesting and kind of crazy because no one really talked about it at all yet was that. Namor of the Aztec, which I actually looked it up again. Aztec and Mayans are the same thing but different. Mayans are like the ancient, like many thousands of years old or thousands of year old, and then Aztecs were just from the 14th century to 16th century. So technically, he was an Aztec, but also from the Mayan culture. Descent.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay.
So same.
But different.
Not same, but different. Same and different.
But different.
Yeah. Correct.
But the same.
Whether you go with him as an Aztec or him as a Atlantean, there's still vibranium within those two universes, if you want to call it that, for lack of a better term. But what was cool was that Okoye was just like, I was, because of him saying that they have vibranium and like it's like plentiful and I forget what their country is called.
I remember.
She's like,
Telecon.
Everything is a lie.
Telecon.
Right.
Yeah. Everything embedded in their brains is a lie, and everything is just false, and their whole entire structure of their civilization is just like it's a religion.
Right, that boss.
Their religion, their spiritual. It's like they're like, oh well, there must have been another meteor from the gods or something. Whatever they said, it was like another meteor from the heavens, and it was just like, is anyone going to talk about that? Like,
yeah.
maybe they will. I hope they do. But like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because they boast, they brag
the fabric
about
of their society is crumbling.
Right.
They
the
were
most
chosen.
The piece that makes Wakanda the strongest, besides their people and everything else, is vibranium.
Yep.
Right.
That was
it's
what made them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to know that there's another civilization out there that has it and uses it and is plentiful with it.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Huh.
And still had the flowers and the plants, the heart-shaped herb.
Right, yeah.
Which like halfway through the night, I'm like, what are they saying?
Yeah, well, that's because in the Wakandan like dialect or whatever, they said herb.
Yeah.
So,
well, even no, it was the heart-shaped part.
Heart-shaped herb.
Yeah, and I think at the end,
but there's like a seaweed.
I think the thing that's gonna like lay out even more is Namor's a freaking genius. Man.
Yo, he's the long game. He's the long game.
Playing a long game.
He's been alive for over 500 years.
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
right. Like we're sitting here and we're talking about him losing.
Yeah.
But did he?
No.
He lost the battle, but he's winning the war, man.
The war's just begun.
That war. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
He's a tactician.
He is right. When he's talking to Namora at the end,
yes,
that man is sitting there painting a picture.
Yeah. Literally
painting
a picture.
Literally painting a picture of what the future is going to be. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
The circus is going to turn on Wakanda, and they're going to look for allies.
Yep.
And who's going to be there? Who's going to be there to answer the call?
The Kamehameha men.
He's playing a long game, that dude. I
just want to see him fight the Hulk already.
Excited.
Or the Abomination. They fought Abomination quite often.
He's fought like everybody, man.
Yeah,
it's true.
I want to see him fight somebody that's.
I want to see
him fight somebody that's a little more.
I remember reading
Shuri.
I think Shuri it was a comic where the Avengers came into contact with him in a submarine.
Fighting it.
Like it was Iron Man's submarine.
Oh, good.
And like he like lifted it out of the sea.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that was a
probably
comic.
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds
I would like
right.
to
I remember
see,
reading that as a kid.
We know why Shuri was able to win that because she surprised him.
Right, she used her science.
And she used her science
to like
and her
fry
intellect to
his skin.
But it's also, let's be honest.
Yeah,
she wooed him with science.
He should have gone in the water.
He came in. What is the number one thing that people get beat by?
Monologuing.
No. What? No.
Water.
Hubris. Their own.
Monologuing is kind of with hubris.
Succulent Chinese meal.
Their own belief. Their own belief that they can't be beat, which is exactly what he was beat by.
Yeah.
Right.
He was beat by the
pride.
He thought I'll finish her off, and then I'll go.
Underestimated. Right.
He should have gone in and taken a little bath.
So I want to see that fight you're talking about, because I don't believe he would underestimate his opponent if he was like the Hulk or Abomination.
You got to also think, if he's just been chilling down Talokan, who's he fought?
No one.
That's like can do anything.
A killer whale, which is the apex predator of the United World of
but he can talk to it.
Earth.
He literally would punch a whale in the face.
No,
he'd punch right through the whale.
Yeah, I mean straight through the whale.
Straight through that
he's going to rip the whale's spine out.
It's true.
With one hand.
So I love this movie.
One hand.
Why do you think they didn't say the word Submariner at all?
I don't know. They said Imperious Rex though, so I'm okay.
I know, but like what?
I don't know.
Because that's what he's called.
Yeah, but wasn't he called that like in the World Wars? Like, so I wonder if they'll ever go back. Like, I wonder if he actually fought with Captain America.
I'm sorry. I need to do a quick check here.
Yeah.
Submariner is not Namor.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Huh? Namor the Submariner.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, but you're right. They didn't. You're right.
Not one time did they call him Submariner.
But,
why didn't they
because I think because he's got several other names that were cooler that he wanted to use.
To be fair, they gave him way too many names.
Like I want the wings.
I guess it's probably because they're not going with the Atlantean thing.
Right. They're not going with Atlantis, but they're also They gave him a bunch of names.
Yeah.
He literally, when he first introduced himself, he gave him 2 names.
Right. Well, I thought when he
himself
said,
2 names.
you know, my enemies call me Namor, and I thought he was going to say some people call me Submariner. I don't know.
He could have.
We're going to be out here dropping aliases?
Yeah.
I go by Logan. However, my first name is George. In addition to that,
you're not even trying, and you can drop 3.
Exactly, but now it's going to get way too confusing.
No.
Yeah, we just want to see.
That's exactly what you want to do. Confuse your enemy.
Names. He's not. Well, but he was. I don't know.
I think
I'm
it would
okay
have been
with
too
him not
much.
saying that.
I'm fine with that.
But you're right.
But he's known as Submariner.
But
You're
maybe
right.
it might come up.
In
What do you want me to
like
say?
30 years of his comic book runs,
What do you
it was
want me to
never
say?
just Namor. It was Submariner.
What do you want me to
Well,
say?
maybe
You're
not.
right. You are right.
Yeah,
It's like
maybe
saying,
they'll
like,
bring it
why
in.
did they?
Not
Why
saying
did why did Iron Man not be called Iron Man? They just
Do
called
you
him
want to know
Tony.
why? Do you want me to know why? You want to know why?
Because they wanted the winged
Because
serpent.
we are
god.
not following comic books anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think they wanted to focus
true.
on the winged
Let's-
serpent.
come
god,
on, man. Come on. We're not following comic books anymore.
Yeah. Well,
So
We don't do that anymore.
We don't do that
We're the
anymore.
Legion of Correction.
No,
that's
not
old
us.
hat.
Oh, wait, no.
Not us.
No, I
What
know.
are you talking about? Marvel.
I thought we are Marvel.
Marvel.
We're Marvel.
We are
I'm not
Marvel.
Marvel.
We are not Marvel.
We are Marvel.
well,
Stop
we
it.
have
It's a
to-
siren.
Stop it.
It's a
You're
siren
not a siren.
sound.
You're not
We
a
have
siren.
to-
Cut it out. Cut it out.
We have to get to our verdict, but before we do that,
Stop it, Greg.
it's Movember
Yes, sir.
for like 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
Yes, sir.
So by the
Yes,
time
sir.
this video comes out, we'll have like a week and a half left of November. So if you haven't clicked our Movember link down
Check it
below,
out. Come on.
check it out.
if you haven't clicked our Movember sticker down below,
Oh, buy the Movember sticker. I just
Go
got it. It's
buy it.
awesome.
go click it. Go
Yeah.
learn about men's mental health.
100%
Do it.
of the proceeds
The
from the
stickers.
stickers go to Movember
Let's
and
do it.
supporting understanding around men's mental health. So please,
Click down there,
Just do it.
and let's talk about our verdict.
verdict.
All right, guys, verdict time.
Violence. Oh, wait. That's wrong. Sorry.
Violins.
Violins.
Correct.
What do you
Okay.
think, Logan? What'd you give it?
So here's the deal.
Wait, no. It's hear me out.
Let's just
Yeah.
hear me out. Just hear
There
me
we
out.
go.
Okay.
This guy, he's asking questions. He's
Said,
here's the deal.
What
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
heck is
Who
that?
is this guy?
Don't know where that came from.
Where did you?
Too
Where's
tired.
Logan?
Get
Get outta
too
here.
Tired.
He's still up on the couch.
He's
I
still
did.
sleeping.
I took a
This
15-minute
other
nap.
guy-
Looking at the
Took a
inside of his
15-minute
eyes.
nap, and now I'm all thrown off. I should be sleep deprived. I'd be
It's
I'd
because
be
you
doing a
you
better
just
job.
drank an emergency rain
I
from the
did.
Jeep
I
at
did.
10 o'clock at night.
So here's the deal. Hear me out.
All right,
There
there we go. Now we're
As
getting
a movie,
Standalone, non-Marvel,
Standalone.
just a movie.
it. Not a comic book
viewed-
movie.
not a comic book movie,
Just a movie.
Okay, yeah.
not a comic book movie. As a movie,
Yes.
it's a perfection.
Beautiful.
It's a perfection.
Great.
If I have to factor in and say, where are we at with this being a comically accurate movie?
Yeah.
Can't be a perfection.
No.
Whew.
It can't be.
We need to have like something. I feel like it is what it is. Sounds like it's bad though.
I just
We need to have a
No,
different name for
it's
that,
not
maybe.
bad. It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's
but
true.
this is where we go to.
All right.
This is where we talk about like
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
a personal connection, preference, like
Right.
enjoy
Okay,
the
so
movie
preferential-
level.
Yeah.
And then comic review title.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was
Okay.
gonna say, because I was thinking about. I was like, all right, when we're doing all this, whenever one of us isn't talking, I'm sure you guys think about it too. It's like you
Mhm.
think of this section here,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I was just thinking, I'm like a lot of people have. So for instance, I don't support or condone. I don't know, whatever. But Barstool with Dave Portnoy, he does his pizza reviews.
Okay.
You can like him, you can hate him. I don't really care, but he does his pizza reviews, and he has like a subsection on the side for like Pizza Hut or Papa John, like some
like the
chains or like DiGiorno. It's like a
Yeah,
side section. It's not like a mom and pop pizza shop.
Right. Right.
So like it's something like that. It's just like, yes, as a standalone movie, it was a great movie. It was a perfection, but also to more of a point, this movie within a comic, within a standalone, or just whatever you want to call it, it had a job. It did that job and moved on.
Sure did. Sure did.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing, is that like comic book correction, blah blah blah, all that.
Yes.
A man died. They honored him. and they did what they did.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to give it a rating.
No.
Right?
I'm 100% in agreement with what you're doing.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, like, in a point of like, with the emotions behind this,
yes,
this could have gone horribly.
Oh, it could have gone terrible.
This could have gone so bad,
and they didn't do that. They did it perfection.
Right.
And for that, you have to give it, for a standalone, whatever, it has to be perfection.
So in other words, you're agreeing, Harry. Personal review, it's a perfection.
Right.
Comic accuracy, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so
absolutely.
but to give a comparison,
Yeah.
we keep going to it because it's right there.
Do
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Gross!
Yeah, that's an HPG.
Right.
That's a subsection.
No, but
It's
listen.
a subsection of garbage.
Yeah, but hear me out.
Yeah. That's
the lowest-
hot steaming garbage.
Lowest.
But hear me out. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Personally, it's a hot pile of garbage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a comic book movie, it's a hot pile of garbage.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
It's true.
a
It's both.
HPG point two
It's terrible from both
squared.
lenses.
HPG
Yes.
squared.
It's terrible from both lenses.
needs to be a
This is
t-shirt.
where I'm saying we're
HPG
as we evolve,
The poop emoji.
as
We're talking about poop, Logan. Get over yourself.
how we rate movies needs to evolve. And so I'm
Right,
just
sure,
evolving
sure.
with how we rate these
Yeah,
movies.
I like the
I
two
hope
tiers.
this never comes to pass again for this reason, though. Someone dying
sure.
out of
Never.
out of shock.
Never.
Yeah,
No.
Never. This
But
was
the
a
two-tier thing.
phenomenal
I like the two-tier
movie.
thing.
This is a phenomenal
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
I love it.
But
You're
we can't do
exactly
this
right.
every time, though.
It did its no, and we
No,
shouldn't.
no.
But what I'm just saying is,
Sure.
it did its job. It was a phenomenal movie. It did its job of honoring Chadwick.
Right.
Yes.
And it could have gone horribly wrong. So it's a perfection. But from a comic accurate standpoint, it is what it is.
What it is.
We should
Agreed.
before we go into the verdict, we should
We're in the verdict.
no, I'm saying he's saying we should be evolving our
other
verdicts
episodes,
and things like
Yeah,
that.
right.
I said what I'm saying is, before, when we say we're coming to a verdict time, we should vote on it and say, like, should this be a dual verdict?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Should have a two-tier.
This one has to.
This one's a two-tier.
This one
for
has
sure.
to.
This one has to.
I don't think
Two
anyone's
tier.
going to vote no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So.
But the reason I was giving that comparison for
With Love and
Thunder was
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be a two-tier because it's just a
Hot
pile of garbage. Period. But for this one, you have to separate. You have
absolutely.
to separate.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm right with you guys. Perfection. Personally, it is a perfection. You can't get a better movie. I can't think of a better Black Panther sequel.
Yep.
With the circumstances we have. Obviously, I'd rather Chadwick Boseman be alive. I'd rather that played out that way.
Yeah.
But given what we have, this is a perfection.
Yeah.
Comic accuracy wise, though, it is what it is.
And
Yeah,
I
still
feel
good.
like I don't know if we need to explain this, but the reason it is what it is, and as in the only redeeming part of this, in a good way, not a bad way, because we like the Namor story, but is because of Shuri and the Midnight
Angels.
I almost said sisters, but like all the parts of like the Wakandan side.
Right.
Kept to pretty much
We're pretty comic accurate.
accurate.
Yeah.
That's the only. I don't want to say that's
don't-
a saving grace of this movie, because it's not.
But that's what kept it from being a
Comic,
correction.
comically, it's a saving grace.
yes,
Yeah,
comically,
right.
in a correction form, that is what the saving grace was.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, this is an emotional roller coaster of a movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, which I don't know why you got this far and haven't seen it yet,
Go
but
see it.
Because they
Bring
like
a-
us.
bring a box of tissues.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, cry.
Bring a
cry,
box of tissues.
cry.
For sure.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. I've
Right.
seen it twice now, and it was better the second time.
I think-
so. Go see it.
Yeah, I think this was better than the first one, personally. In a way,
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I
mean, it
would
sucks
agree.
because Chadwick wasn't in it.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, obviously,
But
we all love him, but
I agree, though. I think it was a better
in like a
story, too.
gravitas, like
I think just gravity. I think you're
Yeah.
exactly right. Gravity wise, this is
great.
a monumental film.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll go down in history. Can't wait to see how much money it makes as it continues to
It's
go.
a good, this is emotional. Can't wait till see
said
how
it's a
much money he's
monumental
gonna
film
make.
because of what-
Easy, Mr. Krabs.
No, I want to see if it like breaks more records and stuff. It's cool. Like, it's an honor.
Where's me money? My name is Mr. Greg.
That's an honor to the character and the story and the fact that it broke records already in its first weekend. That's cool.
Here is like, I don't think anybody is like, let's make money off of this.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm saying
maybe Disney.
I'm saying, but that's not.
It's Disney.
That's
Disney.
not
House of Mouse.
House of Mouse.
That's not what I'm
Please
saying.
don't kill me.
I'm saying I want to see how many records it can break. Like, it's already breaking records. I want to see it keep it, not because of how much it makes, but because of how it will stand in the history of film. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, so Endgame.
Good save, Greg.
And it's what I'm just clarification.
He's just digging the hole and he's just like accidentally filling it back up and backpedaling up it.
Well, I think of like Endgame. And
it's not going to beat that though.
No. But maybe. But regardless, I think of Endgame and I think of like
there will never
not only is it an amazing cap to a series, but it's also like it is now solidified in film history because of the records it broke.
Oh, absolutely.
So like I want to see what Black Panther does and like can it break more? Let's break more records. Go see it.
I could see it being one of the highest,
Top
if not
5?
the highest grossing films. Individual.
4.
No. Solo character films.
Yeah, solo character. Yeah, so like
but it's not a solo
Endgame
character film.
Right. Well, Endgame is like a culmination film. Black Panther.
You're talking about like title card.
Yeah.
Title card.
Yeah.
Title card.
I see what you mean.
Well, go see it.
There's not.
Well,
really,
I don't think it will. Captain America:
really.
Civil War.
Yeah, that's technically a single,
which is
technically
it's technically by
technically an Avengers
title
movie.
card.
I want to look at the numbers on that, but
Yeah,
you
I
got
don't
a
really
good
know
point.
what
You got a good point.
That's
there.
the only one I can think of. Though.
Yeah, you could
It's
be
an
right.
Avengers movie.
Maybe Thor
with
Ragnarok, but I think Thor Ragnarok got its traction from after it was in theaters.
Yeah. Avengers Light is what
Avengers Light.
Avengers Light is Captain
Diet
America.
Avengers.
Diet Avengers.
Civil War.
Yeah. It was a good movie. Go see that too if you haven't seen it. And check back here.
Wait, Captain America: Civil War?
I don't know.
What are you doing here
What
if
are
you
you
haven't seen
plugging?
that?
What are you plugging?
I'm trying to end the episode.
It's over.
We'll see you next time.
See you later, dudes.
Comic
And
Correction.
dudettes.
That's how you end it.
And everything in between.
That's how you end it.
Done.
End scene.